times.
Sie hören Sport und Musik.
Das Spiel ist aus! Deutschland ist Weltmeister!
Mario Götze! Mario Götze!
Tonight, whether you call it football, or soccer, a German American and a German in America dare to call it Fußball. German football from an American point of view. Let's add some buns to that hamburger and join them for the Schnitzel Boys Deutschland Hour.
Yeah.
Well, good evening. Good evening, Stefan. It's
Good evening,
been a
Bjorn.
while.
It has been a while.
It's
Probably our
been a
longest
while.
break. Our longest
Perhaps.
break since starting this podcast, maybe.
Perhaps it was. Yeah, no, I think you're right. Definitely. I
2
don't
or
think
3
it's.
weeks.
I don't think this is controversial. I think that is definitely what it is. The longest break. So people must be out there jonesing for some Schnitzel Boys content, and here we are. Here we are delivering.
That's
that.
right.
Yes.
As always, comment in the chat if our audio quality is decent, because we have no way of knowing until it's too late.
It sounds great. Everything sounds good on my headphones.
Well, we screwed up the audio, and by we, I mean me. I think you can hear me saying, oh, and then there's a big silence. It's okay. It's been a few weeks, so I'm getting the rust. I'm shaking the rust off.
I know. I couldn't even remember the name of our room.
Yeah.
On video.
Anyway,
Ninja.
we're here. We're here for you. We're back. We had to postpone. We were going to try to come back last week, but
I
due
had
to
a bad
Bjorn's
cold.
illness,
It didn't last very long, but I really couldn't even speak.
and so it's not good for podcasts. We can't speak. And I was dealing with a little fire issue we have here in Los Angeles.
Ugh.
The Los Angeles wildfires do affect me as well as a Los Angeles resident. Now, just to let everyone know, I'm okay. My house, thankfully, is still fine, and my car was not robbed by looters like what happened to a friend of mine. The house was not burnt down like what happened to coworkers of mine, and I didn't miss anything at all. So I evacuated for 1 day. I was telling Bjorn earlier because I was very near or in an evacuation zone. But it was near the Sunset Fire, but that was a small fire that was relatively quickly exterminated. So I was able to go back to my house the next day, and all is well. And I work in Pasadena right by the Eden Fire, and the ash is pretty strong in the sky there, so I wear a mask. I'd rather not be there. And my coworkers were there Wednesday and Thursday, and they had burning faces because the ash was in the air, and they were breathing, they were coughing it. I'm just like, that's bad. No one should be working there. So by the time it is apocalyptic. And by the time I got there, the ash was still pretty strong in the sky. But like I said, I have a mask, my COVID mask still left over, and it got better day to day. I went to IKEA to buy a bunch of air purifiers, as that's the name. Air quality is the name of the game. So I have air purifiers running in my home just in case. But anywho, the LA is crazy. The Los Angeles Galaxy already texted they're doing a donation drive, and where I work, I work in the FEMA offices. So FEMA is very, very busy there, the Federal Emergency Response Team. And they're there. They have to set their responsibility to set people up with new homes and things like that. So our parking lot had a whole donation drive. Yeah, good luck. And our parking lot had a big
Fortunately,
donation
housing in LA is usually just plentiful and cheap and always available.
No, we're talking about the craziness. The other craziness is all the freaking LA landlords doubling and tripling their rents real quick as demand skyrockets. Obviously, it's America, so you can never overlook a great business opportunity.
That's not good. That's not good.
But it's okay. You can report. There's all this craziness. FEMA release. It's like your claims are being denied, but it's a glitch in our system, so apply again. And it's just all sorts of craziness in these times of craziness, and I just feel it's the new normal. It's just going to happen a lot, right? Pandemic, wildfires, winds, earthquakes, hurricanes, thunder, snow, pyronimbus clouds. It's just like the wrath is here. I believe. It's just open-endedly just open-endedly going to be here. Yeah.
Well, on that note,
When's
so
your
may
next
as well.
hurricane? When's the next hurricane?
So
It's gonna shut down half the subway.
I'm not getting updates. I don't know what's going to happen. What's going to happen around here? It's been pretty quiet. Yeah, I don't have. We don't have that. We don't have those kinds of issues currently. I'm sure it's only a matter of time.
I was happy though after Sandy, I think, because I take the R train home at night, and the local is really, really long. Goes through all these dumb stuff that need to go to. Goes to Wall Street and all. It's like, who the heck's at Wall Street at midnight? But anyway, because of Sandy, all those stations were closed, and my train had to run express all night long. And I was like, hell yeah, let's do it. And then after a year of them rebuilding the tunnels, it went back to being local again.
It went back to normal. The hurricane bliss couldn't last forever. We have congestion pricing here in New York City. That's kind of our. I mean, not to compare.
It work, right?
Well, in the sense that things are quieter.
Right.
My daughter had a New Year's Eve party foul and party accident. And tore a ligament in her knee. So I now get to drive her to school and pay the $9 every morning. But
is there school in the city?
What's that?
School's in the city?
Yeah, she goes to a school on Wall Street, near Wall Street, right by the Bull.
So it's $9. $9 every time.
$9 every time. I mean, it goes via Easy Pass. It's not like somebody stops me and demands cash. It's pretty I don't notice. Eventually, it gets deducted.
You'll notice.
It eventually gets deducted from my checking account. Yeah, if I. But
that's
yeah, it is.
$18 a day,
it is pretty quiet.
days.
You can.
It's $90 a week.
No, it's just one. It's
month.
one time. It's one time. It's one time per day. You once you've paid it once per day, that's it.
Okay. Oh, okay. So it's half that.
So it's not. Yeah, it's like $45 a week right now. But yeah, I mean, it is. It's definitely pretty quiet. I have a friend who lives. There's always with these things. There's always, of course, side effects that are unexpected. I have a friend who lives on 70th Street on the west side, and he has noticed an uptick in people just kind of trying to park in his area because it's right above the cutoff zone so his formerly quiet corner of the Upper West Side has now become a hot spot for people trying to.
I'll Google this, but so people can take one of the northern bridges and it's free, and then park up there.
The Queensboro Bridge is kind of the cutoff, and you can go. Yeah, you can go, or you can go via the FDR. The FDR is free.
Where's the GWB? That's on 40.
Oh, that's way high. That's 100 and
it's up in the hundreds.
Yeah, it's high up. Yeah.
All right.
So that's not affected, but yeah, then people come. I mean, people come from Jersey, and they come down the west side, and then they try to park like in the 70s, and then take the bus or whatever they do. Get a city bike. I don't know.
So it's $9 on top of what they have to pay already on the Holland Tunnel. The Lincoln Tunnel and things like that?
Oh, yeah. It's separate. It's extra. That's extra.
Interesting. And it's only during Monday through Friday business hours or whatever.
I think so. Is that true? It's
I'm
not in the
evenings? I don't know. I imagine it's congestion. It's congestion. So during the congested
You
hours.
may be right. I don't know. I think it may be cheaper. No, I think it's all the time, but I think it might be cheaper at different times. I've only been, my life now only happens during business hours. I have no more, so I don't know. But yeah, it seems to be working. It is I had to take her to the doctor today, and you kind of cruise right up there, and there's parking, and so that's pretty cool. That is definitely that's an upgrade. Cool. There's less traffic. I mean, the FDR seems more congested because people are kind of going there to go around to avoid driving through. So, we're all figuring it out. Everything's being rearranged. Fortunately, because of government just being ultimately effective always, all this money is just going to go into the subways and just things are just going to improve.
Oh, God,
It's just we're just
They
going to be
need
living the dream here in New York City.
Yeah, God. I mean, this is all off topic. I guess it's the New York, LA emergency hour podcast.
The catch up. It's the catch up.
So one thing I don't miss, essentially, like, there's no reason. The problem with the New York subway system is so bad is a fewfold. A, it's controlled from Albany, which is bonkers. What's that thing about the subway? And B, it is the first thing that mayors slash when they lower taxes. For whatever reason, that's like fund number one that they're allowed to just slash. Therefore, there's never money for the subway. But what should be by law is there should be X amount always stashed away for the subway to A, pay for the subway, and 10% on top to save, so that every 20 years you can spend on a big renovation project. That should be by law how the subway is dealt with. But no, it's slash. It's just they have no money and it's getting old and disrepair, and like no one has any answers.
Well, I mean, there's some. They got a $20 billion a year budget. That's kind of a lot. The subway. So it's not like they don't have any
robbed. Well,
but
90% of that goes to the mafia first. They get swept first.
Listen, hey.
Then the 10% left gets the overtime or whatever.
It's the same. It's the same with New York City. New York City public schools.
Bjorn, riddle me this. This. I sit on a subway platform late at night, and there's 10 to 12 to 15 city workers, all probably getting paid $30 to $40 an hour.
Right.
And they have one.
They have one more than that. If it's at night.
And they have one little water cannon where they're spritzing water on the stairs. Is that really cleaning the stairs? A.
Listen.
And B, did they need 12 people to do that?
Listen, don't these are the big questions. I had this this is going to become the political podcast. I blew my daughter's mind on our way to school when I explained to her that if you divided the budget for New York City public schools, the annual budget per student, I was asking her to guess how much that would be, and it's $40,000 per. So you could you could shut the system down, send everybody to private school.
There should be private schools. That's ridiculous. Is that real?
Yeah, it's definitely true.
That's how much NYU costs.
And she couldn't believe it. She's like, my teachers, they say they only have a $100 budget for supplies per year. I'm like, it goes somewhere. It doesn't go into the supplies. I don't know. There must be also perhaps if we went to her school at night, there would also be like 15 guys spraying down the
with a light spray of water,
using a little watering can.
Yeah. My favorite is, remember when that giant vacuum cleaner train? We're like, look at this new invention. We're up and we're moving up. It's like, oh, good, you guys invented a freaking vacuum cleaner, you geniuses. What the heck? How much does this cost? $1 billion, I'm sure.
Oh, my God.
It's not rocket science to put vacuum cleaner on a train. Anyway, we can talk all day. But the Bundesliga is back, baby. Bundesliga LA is buried to the ground. The New York budget is just being taken by God knows who. Trump or whoever is up there just taking it every year. We don't know where it's going.
We don't know where all this money's going.
Because the subway can't be too fast. The subway system doesn't know where their trains are, which is hilarious. It's freaking 2025. You figure you could just put some drones in there or something. It feels like a fixable thing. Now, this is another thing that's very much me. I'm going to bring it to MLS now.
Oh.
So I'm very much of the vein. There's this photo on Reddit of a guy in Canada, this is years ago, and where this public park did not have ADA access for the one. There was one guy in a wheelchair who wanted to go or whatever.
Oh, right.
So this very capable handyman spent $500 at the hardware store and built this very capable wooden ramp that looked great. The city ripped it apart, obviously, because it wasn't city code or whatever. It was private. And then they built a crappier one for $5,000 because it's the city. And again, where's the 4,500? What does
it cost to build an elevator to the subway? I learned this year. What do you think if you just kind of take
what it should cost or what it really costs?
No. What do you think the MTA spends on building an elevator into a subway station?
I'm going to say $400,000.
$400,000?
I don't know. What game are we playing?
What are you talking about? No, I
Okay,
mean that seems
40,000. 40,000.
that seems low. No, that seems low even to me. In New York
Oh,
City,
so more. Okay, so $2 million.
it's $40 million.
Wait a minute. For the whole system, not per elevator.
No, for one.
What are you talking about? You're playing with me. Show me
I
those
learned
books. Itemize that shit. I want to see an itemized receipt.
This is,
I want to see
I
it.
picked this. I read this this was in an article. I'm not privy to the checking account.
You know what's real though, and again, I hate this becomes politics.
But I think
I thought about this years ago. The people of the United States needs to go to the government. This is more for Washington D.C. and we need to audit our own government. We need to.
Oh my
audit
God, this happens all the time. Like there was this whole.
and we need we need to see everything itemized. We want to see exactly where our tax dollars are going. I want it itemized, and I guarantee you'll be shocked at how probably most of it doesn't go where it needs to go. And it's just like we need to audit.
There was just something about that for the military. The military has failed their audits like however many years in a row because they have billions of dollars they can't account for, and this is absolutely a thing. Anyway, so
and the American military, by the way, if their budget was slashed in half, it would still have a bigger budget than Russia, China, and Iran combined.
Exactly.
The American military is by far the most inflatedly.
I mean, the New York City subway has a higher annual budget than the GDP of many countries.
Yeah.
Anyway, none of that money is going to VfL Bochum because
real quick, you did a good job. I thought I was gonna. My MLS point was MLS saying they can't afford goal line technology because it'd be like $1 billion extra a year. I'm of the Canadian guy. I'm like, go to Best Buy, buy some ring cams, tape them onto the posts of the goal, and then have the referee give the referee a goalpost angle. Right? That's not $1 billion.
You could get a TikTok, a teenage TikToker to rig something up. That would work for.
Give me $5,000. I'll get goal line. Give me $5,000. I'll get goal line technology going in MLS. All right, what is it? That's 4 cams with 2. That's 6 cams a stadium. That's what 25 stadiums.
Schnitzel Boys. This is going to be our new business. We're going to stop this podcasting. We're going to just be like budget goal line, Schnitzel Boys.
Everything, budget everything.
Budget goal line, dollar goal line technology store.
Yeah, dollar VAR. Like whatever it is, we'll do the cheaper version of it. Don't worry about it. We're not going to do the expensive Hawkeye system. We're going to grab some GoPros at Best Buy and pay a kid to sit there.
And have
anyway.
We're just going to pay somebody to sit in it. Anyway, so
VfL Bochum has no money, or they lost, but they got 3.
We got extra points. We got 2 more points. In the court of law, we have
real law.
We
or
were awarded law? The soccer law court completely sided der grüne Tisch, the Frankfurt DFB tribunal, whatever it's called, sided with us and said that our goalie being hit by this little lighter in the 88th minute of the game at the time it was 1-1 and he couldn't continue and if you remember he couldn't continue and then the team disappeared and the game was interrupted and then they came back but they didn't play, they just kicked the ball around and it ended 1-1 and then there was a protest and we won and we got the 3 points. The judge said, well, we were at a disadvantage. He said that the referee should probably not have continued the game. He should have just stopped it, and it should have been awarded to us. Now, before the season,
and right then and there is what they're saying.
Before the season, at the beginning of the season, you come into the year with hope, and you want to play. You want to be. You want to be idealistic. You want to play the game and win but if you find yourself in a relegation battle and 25% of your points come from your goalie getting hit by objects, you just have to be pragmatic. We're going to have to start planting people,
guys,
in the
that's the Schnitzel mentality.
They have to be trained shooters.
Yeah.
chameleons, and they have to be able to hit Patrick Dreves' head from with small, non-lethal objects from a large distance. And this is the only
Question,
way that we're
Bjorn.
going to stay up.
Question, Bjorn.
Yes.
I would love for. I think that's a great plot for a movie, by the way. I think we should write that. But firstly, if that really happened, how long do you think it would take for the German authorities to figure that out?
I think probably pretty quick.
There's like photos of his three guys. He's the same guy, but in three different fan gears.
Yeah, he's got other. He puts like shades on, and there he goes again. This time he's throwing a comb.
Yeah, Munchen.
Davis goes down. No,
he comes in with a big Munchen accent. He's like, "Oh, Servus." They're like, "Who are you?" "Oh, I've been here every week. You know me." Anyway, what's that dang goalkeeper?
The internet, and Union Berlin, but the internet in general were pretty scathing towards Patrick Dreves. Even the Coach Dieter Hecking, had to acknowledge this at a press conference that it was pretty. He's taken a lot of heat.
Yeah,
but I
he's
mean,
not being a man.
And listen, I'm a homer. I'm as homer as they come, of course. But I gotta say, it was pretty shameful, the whole thing. I mean,
no, he did. He got 2 points.
Like
in Chile, he would be.
I mean, we got to celebrate it. This is still subject to appeal. The Union Berlin immediately said they were going to protest this ruling, and so there's another. So we're not going to know until February. Although on the table they gave it to us. We have 8 points now.
No, but it's up for appeal. I would love it if. I don't really know. Again, I don't know how soccer court works, but like, I would love it if they appeal it, and there's a very important like abortion case up for the in Berlin, but it has to wait. It has to wait a week.
This is more important
because the Bochum points.
We got to figure out. We got to hear this appeal for the.
I'm sure it's a different court. Obviously, it's like, but
of course, everybody went through great pains to say it doesn't really matter how hurt he was. This is like it's immaterial whether he's, but that's obviously not true, right? Because if he just kind of shakes it off, he's like, "Oh shit, okay, well that kind of hurt. All right, let's go on." Nothing happens, right? No further. Right. I mean, maybe a little, I don't know, something, but
it's the soccer thing of why people dive. It's like if they don't sell it, they're not going to get a penalty. So
yeah, and he really, I mean, and this was this became part of the procedurals too. There was one, I think it was Felix Passlack, the right back. He said something to him immediately after he got hit. He did the thing with his hand and said something to him. And, and then Patrick Dreves kind of went down and people were like, okay, he told him to make the most of it. But I mean, if he doesn't, like, I mean, everybody, and I guess it's like comedy, like everybody fully committed to this bit. Like Patrick Dreves went down, he went off the field, he said, no, I cannot continue. This is it. He was talking about a little nausea. There was a little bit of discrepancy between what he said and what the doctor said. The doctor went to the hospital with him. The doctor said by the time they got to the hospital, he was already feeling pretty good. Patrick Dreves said no, he was still a little dizzy at the hospital.
He demanded a bunch of morphine and Demerol and then get out of there.
There were people. There was a lot. People brought like the little lighter as evidence, and I guess somebody offered to throw it at the judge's head to see if it really hurts.
If it really hurts. He brought up the fact that when he was 4 playing a game, a guy threw a lighter at him when he was a goalkeeper then. So there was some PTSD, psychological trauma scars that also reinvigorated.
Not that we should be making fun of that, but yeah, like...
if it's not clear, I made that up. I made that up, everybody, if that's not clear.
That was not part of the argument. I mean... Like,
so, but hold on. Your opinion, even though you're homo, your opinion is it's shameful. You're not like applauding.
I mean,
in South America, he would be applauded. I will say that. And Germany is different in South America. That's true.
Just a little. I mean, I understand the desperation. I understand this is and also in the scheme of things, let's just be honest, this will not matter because it's still we lost again.
It contributes to breaking Tasmania Berlin.
That's true.
That's what
Yeah,
it contributes
that
to.
is true. That is
They're
true.
trying to break 9 points.
We now
This
make
gives
it.
them-
We have a good chance now. We might make it to double digits in points. It's true, but the squad is still the same. We lost again, and so this is not going to matter. There's going to be a relegation no matter what. And so I guess I understand. I guess I applaud on some level the commitment and the how much everybody really made it happen. And I guess every point counts, but like it doesn't feel great.
Listen, I'm all about. I would love if this club became a specialist of getting points via non-footballing means.
What else is possible? Yeah, it's like
Via the kind of stuff you've never really seen before. Like I want Bochum to go back to Grüne Tisch 3 or 4 more times for the season.
I mean, that's what my friend, but that's what my friend Kier texted me is like. I guess you're hoping. I guess when we were down, 2-0 at Mainz. Like, well, I guess you're hoping for somebody to throw something in. That's the only way to.
Where's the thrower? Well, anyway, did Bochum get any type of? All I saw was they loaned out a guy to Fortuna Düsseldorf. Did they bring anybody in on loan or?
They have too many people. Dieter Hecking has said the squad's too big. They have 31 players, so they sent some people away. But that's it. There was some talk that there was some money for some reinforcements, but so far nothing. I mean, who wants to go? It's
Christoph
like
Kramer?
who's gonna.
Christoph Kramer never.
Christoph Kramer is not doesn't want to come.
John Tolkien's looking to go to the Bundesliga. He keeps being linked with Bundesliga clubs.
Nobody wants to come to Bochum. I mean, like who looks at this and goes, "Oh yeah, this is a good opportunity for me."
Me. You know why? Because right down the street from the Bochum Stadium is this really cool roller skates musical. What's it called again? Oh, it's
Starlight Express.
Starlight Express.
Yeah.
You get to see a show every week. You get to go check out Starlight Express again. So I'd say it's that deal. That's it. The Cookie Boys are really good up there.
I guess no, it's a nice place. But
speaking though.
If you're looking for your next challenge as a player, I think this would be your last resort. I mean, even Christoph Kramer, who said that really nobody wanted him and he would play for peanuts anywhere. I don't think he called us back.
Yeah, it wasn't the type of peanuts.
I mean, obviously, I didn't mean that. I was just speaking figuratively. I didn't mean that.
Yeah, it's like they're not even willing to give me peanuts. I have to at least get peanuts. Maybe you'll make it to New York Red Bulls. Well, okay. So let's talk about one of your other clubs. NYCFC lent James Sands to the Bundesliga. Now, I'm really excited about a transfer. I'm really excited about a transfer like this because we just don't see that much anymore. It used to be more common where like a guy who's a first-team player in MLS, especially an American, then over a transfer window goes straight to a European top-flight club and like walks into it. It's very rare. And this is an example of that happening. Not too many. But he did get 12 minutes or so last weekend coming off the bench for Zampoli as a holding mid. Right? I believe he was a holding mid.
He's playing in his best position. Yeah,
they have 3 holding mids in Sao Paulo, I believe. It's like they play with 3 holding mids. Or at least
they play with 3. Well, I mean, in St. Pauli, they're also fighting relegation, so every midfielder is a holding defense.
Everybody's a holding mid.
Yeah. Everybody's a holding mid. The center forward plays 70 minutes each game as a holding mid. So. Yeah, Jimmy Sand. Yeah, I mean, I watched the whole 20. I mean, St. Pauli, pretty lively team. I have to say, I haven't watched them a whole lot.
They have turned around.
And in this game, they ultimately lost to Frankfurt. They were down 1-0 when Jimmy came in, and that didn't change. But they had some chances. Now. Yeah, I don't know. Jimmy is Jimmy, the guy from Rye, who I at some point my son accused me of loving Jimmy Sands more than him. I think he was joking, but he is like an extended family member to me. But I don't think I don't know if this is the move. In the 20 minutes, he was playing the holding mid, and he is a great reader of the game. He is a very good early interrupter of opposing attacks. That's really his strength. He's very aggressive, and so he snuffs out a lot of stuff before it ever goes anywhere, which is sort of a hard thing to track in soccer. So you don't get a
How
lot
would he
of
do
credit for that
against
necessarily.
How would he do against a Yamal Musiala, for instance?
Well,
Which is
this
very
is
real.
this
That's
is
what
the
happened.
thing. This is the thing. He is not. He also, he has these strengths, but he also has some weaknesses. He's not a great one-on-one defender, which is why, as a center back, he was never all that good. Because in Rangers played him there a lot, and that didn't really work. In the U.S. men's national team, he played center back for a while. That also wasn't. That's not his best position.
It's not a spot.
And
He's a six.
also, and in terms of even as a six on a high international level, we've been waiting for his progressive passing to improve, and it's just not. I mean, he's a good passer by MLS level, but you could immediately see that in the Bundesliga, that stuff happens a little quicker. And there was just one moment where it was either the goalie or a center back kind of passed it to him, and he was immediately under pressure, and he's just not. That is not his thing. Like receiving a ball under pressure and then turning quickly and making a successful. I mean, that's a hard.
Well, he better get on it because that's Europe.
That is a hard skill. That's a hard skill for a lot of people. But I mean, I think in the Bundesliga, you got to have that in your bag in addition to being a solid defensive guy. And he was very shaky. It didn't really lead to anything bad, but you could just kind of feel his new teammates going like, "Oh, I see. All right, I'm not going to do that again." And
well, maybe the currywurst wasn't agreeing with his stomach because he never had a currywurst.
We will see.
Before.
I mean, I kind of want that jersey though, the brown long sleeve,
cool
two-tone brown St. Pauli jersey with Jimmy's. I mean, I'm not a big wearer of jerseys that are not my team, so I don't know if I really would get a lot of use out of it. But I'm kind of tempted. I guess, yeah, if it's a family member, I could.
But I like to look at
wear it for Thanksgiving.
But like you said, with the weaknesses, he's in Germany. Excuse me. Hopefully, it'll get him better. Like was it steel makes iron stronger or something? So hopefully he picks that stuff up and he becomes the player he wants to be, and the Bundesliga hardens him up a little bit, which is sort of the idea. It is the next step. It's a level higher. And it's do or die. Like you said, if next week he has problems holding a ball under pressure, he probably won't play again. So he's got to learn that pretty quick.
Well, on Wednesday, I'm going to watch that whole game because Wednesday worlds are colliding. VfL Bochum is hosting St. Pauli, so I'm going to see my. I mean, this is a big game, regardless of Jimmy, because this is one of those games that home game against St. Pauli. It's like if we're going to win another game or two, this would be one that you might think it would be a good candidate. And then we'll see how Jimmy does. So, it's going to be very interesting. I'm going to check that out. We have this debate. We've had this debate many times. You're in favor of go try your luck and until it doesn't work, and then. And that's it. And I always think,
don't even try. Stay unchallenged.
Well, I think you just got to be I think somebody like him who has that sort of very specific skill set, I think you just got to be very picky. And I think the Rangers thing was bad. And I think I guess it's already feeling a little bit better because they're actually playing him immediately and in his preferred position. So fingers crossed, but I don't know. I don't know if this is gonna be it. But he clearly wants it. He clearly wants to go or wanted to go. It's another loan move, so if it doesn't work out, he can just come back. And
it's very unique.
I'm hoping at some point.
Name any other
Well, I think
player like him who gets loan moves to Europe whenever he wants them.
no, I
It's
think
just
that's.
like,
I think
no
this
one else
is.
has
I
that
think
kind of
this is
movement.
part of. This is part of the NYCFC philosophy. Always has been. They're very accommodating to the players' wishes. It's like, so yeah. So we'll see how it goes. I still hope that at some point he will just realize that he is just happiest at NYCFC, and then he's going to be our Jordan Henderson or whatever, and he's just going to be
That's what
even
you
more
want.
of a.
Right.
That's what I would like. Another example, since we're talking about this, is just hot off the Twitter feed today from Tom Bogert is saying that Matt Freese, our goalie Matt Freese, who is now got called into January camp for the first time by Maurizio Pochettino. He knows who Matt Freese is now, it turns out. And he now has strong interest, according to Tom Bogert on Twitter, strong interest from Europe and the Dutch League, from Germany and the Dutch League. And
Just
so
like
now
Tolkien.
this kind of stuff often goes nowhere, as you know. So,
Right.
I'm not going to get all. But Matty Freese is really, and I love him. I've fought with somebody about this on Twitter. I love him, but he's not like an international class goalie, I don't think. I mean, not right now. And I think he also would be better off, like, just keep going where you're at, and like be an above average MLS keeper, and that's maybe fine. I don't know. So to be continued. It's just like, I understand
support
this,
him going.
these guys have short careers, and if they have these dreams, they gotta go after it. I mean, it's like you could see this at every level. It's like Omar Darmouche now is going to City. Is he going to crush it at City in the like this Frankfurt team is basically built around him. He's 25 years old. He's much like Jimmy. He's no spring chicken.
He scored
This
that
is
great
kind
goal against Bochum right over the weekend. Yeah, for giving him the win. Yeah, and he's on Man City's radar, right? Or is it a done deal?
I think it's Fab Romano official, which is like almost
for the winter or for the summertime.
No, now.
Oh, right now. That's not good.
Supposedly, it's not good for Frankfurt at all. It's good for Omar Darmouche financially, but is it good for him as a player? I don't know. It's like I don't think he's going to walk into that. I mean, I guess he's just a counterattacking guy. He's very like, I don't know if this, it's just an odd fit.
Frankfurt beat St. Pauli this weekend. Sorry, not whatever. I got Mainz.
Right. Yeah.
David Riccio's in the chat. David Riccio's in the chat. He says he will be playing the role of Seba S tonight. Mainz is 2 points out of the Champions League spots. That's right, David Riccio.
Mainz is very good.
Carnival's happening in a month or so. Maybe I think 2 months this year's a little bit later this year than usual. But the Carnival's starting early in Mainz because Mainz is back to their old punch above their weight ways. Get a confident 2-0 win over Bochum. And who are they playing?
Not that really.
They're fifth place.
It's the indicator, but no, they are good. They're doing great.
Mainz are fifth place, 2 points behind fourth place RB Leipzig, which had a 4-2 win over the weekend, supervised by Mr. Jürgen Klopp. Wait, what? You have the drop ready?
What?
I did the Jürgen Klopp. Wait, what?
Oh,
it doesn't matter. You didn't get my Klopp impersonation?
I did not catch that at all. You mean this?
Sorry, what?
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, what?
Sorry,
what?
I thought you had some kind of problem. I didn't.
But tomorrow,
it's early in the year. I'll get faster.
But tomorrow, Mainz is at Leverkusen. Leverkusen themselves a great 3-2 dominant win over Borussia Dortmund.
That was an interesting
not dominant,
game,
but they were quite in control.
Oh, it was pretty dominant. It was more dominant than everybody was sick in Dortmund. The entire back line. They had Rierson playing center back because everybody was out. Zulu was out. Anton was out.
Still couldn't break the
starting
line.
The attacking players were more available. It was really the back line that was thin, and you could tell, man, they were down 2-0 before they basically even knew what happened. Like it was, yeah. I mean, I was texting somebody and was saying, "Oh, this should be entertaining." Dortmund is playing there, and their back line's not that great, even when they're all there. So, yeah, it looked like Leverkusen was going to crush them 8-0, but then, then a penalty and some other. It made it a little tighter than it could have been, but. Leverkusen are back. They are now they're chasing Bayern, and they had a little bit of a shaky start, but it's the 2-horse race is real. Yeah, totally.
Yeah, Leverkusen and Bayern, that'll be the big matchup when that happens. But Mainz has Leverkusen on their hands here midweek, so it's going to be a tough game, but still a fun one. Let's see, what's the other midweek action we got? We got
Bochum. I mean, the game of the week is the
the game of the week.
Schnitzel Boys. It's the Schnitzel Boys. Schnitzel Boys worlds are colliding. Derby of Bochum against St. Pauli. Yeah, definitely.
I do have a soft spot for St. Pauli. I do love Hamburg so much. St. Pauli is a fun part of the city. I love walking around that giant Karstadt Sport they have full of St. Pauli jerseys in the window.
I'm going to get a Jimmy Sands. Jimmy Sands jerseys are already available on the website. I may just do it. I may pull the trigger.
You should call Bochum and have them make a Jimmy Sands jersey. Why not? If you're doing it, why not?
Worlds are truly colliding.
Really, because you made it so. Holstein Kiel hosting Dortmund. Got to give that one to Dortmund. Wolfsburg hosting Gladbach. That'll be interesting. You probably got to give that one to Gladbach, but that's pretty 50-50. Wolfsburg did squeak by Hoffenheim over the weekend. Hoffenheim really skidding since they fired Pellegrino Matarazzo. That puts a smile to my American face, as Pellegrino was not the problem. Leverkusen Mainz, Frankfurt Freiburg, the Frankfurt Freiburg derby of Fs. Bochum St. Pauli, the Clash of Kings. Werder hosting Heidenheim. Heidenheim is skidding, as I predicted, in their sophomore slump this year.
Still skidding, yeah.
They did get a win over Union Berlin over the weekend, I believe, right?
This is why things are looking still dire for Bochum, because it's like 5 points to the relegation playoff spot. So that's a lot. 7. Look, Kicker. I'm just noticing. FOTMOB had already given us the 2 extra points. Kicker has not. And Kicker, we're still on the Kicker website. We're still at 6. So that means we're 7 points. Kicker is like, this is ridiculous. We're only going to count it if this appeal goes.
Well, those points apparently up for appeal. So I don't know if we've earned those points quite yet. Union Berlin, which had that loss, are hosting Augsburg. Bayern hosting Hoffenheim. That should be an easy one for Bayern. And then Stuttgart versus Leipzig will be pretty interesting. That I can't predict. Could go Stuttgart, could go Leipzig. Maybe Leipzig's new Jurgen Klopp energy will guide him to a strong second half of the season. They'd have a strong opening weekend game, 4-2 over Werder Bremen.
So the official Bundesliga table also has us at 6. So I guess this is now.
Those points haven't been earned yet.
They have
There's
not.
An appeals process.
Still got. Das Urteil ist noch nicht rechtskräftig.
And VfL Bochum can't afford Johnny Cocker. They need to get a real good lawyer in there. They need to get like Alan Dershowitz or something to get those points, but they can't afford it. They can't afford it.
Can't even afford. Yeah. I think Manuel Riemann has had a lot of time on his hands. He could have gotten a law degree, and he's certainly had a way with words.
You know who is one of the great lawyers of our generation?
What? I've been just wondering, who are the great lawyers of our generation?
There's this guy, dude. His name is, get this. His name is Krieger.
Like Ali Krieger?
Yeah,
but Krieger warrior.
Tell the Americans what Krieger means. It means warrior.
Krieger is German for warrior. Yeah,
that's why
old guy. Ali Krieger is
a warrior, little warrior. He's an old bald guy, and he successfully defends all these guys, like these drug lords and murderers who should clearly be thrown in prison.
He's an American.
He's so good that he's an American. He's so good that by the end of his suits, it's always a counter suit, and they always lose against his. Like, he's the best lawyer of all time. Okay. His name is Krieger, and if I am a rich man, he's my lawyer. So VfL Bochum, you need to get yourself.
Why do you need a lawyer?
You get yourself a Krieger. Me, I'll never need a lawyer. But if I need a lawyer, it's Krieger. I'm going to find him. The other guy, the other great lawyer of our time,
speed dial,
is there's this great Netflix documentary about an escaped Nazi who was hiding in the Ford factory in the 60s, 70s, and 80s, and then he went back to Israel to face war crime charges. And Israel, there was a Jewish Israeli lawyer who defended him, and he defended him so well he got him off, even though it was clear cut. And he's like, screw it. He's like, listen, I know I'm Jewish, I know he's a Nazi, but if you want to prosecute him, do your job. And he was such a good lawyer that he got this Nazi off the hangman's chair in Israel.
So in the Schnitzel Boys ranking of greatest lawyers of our generation, if you want to make it to the top of that ranking, you just got to find the biggest scumbags.
You got to free him.
The worst people in the world. And get him off.
Isn't that a great way to rank lawyers? What's a better way to rank lawyers?
We will celebrate you. We here at the Schnitzel Boys, we will celebrate you for that.
I mean, Johnny Cochran, right? He's on that list. Is Johnny Cochran did Johnny Cochran not pull off one of the greatest feats of litigation in American history?
I guess
pretty
so.
much.
Yeah. I mean, he definitely tapped into something.
And then this guy, after he was acquitted in Israel, went to Germany. He was not acquitted in Germany. And he got maximum penalty at a court in München right after that.
Because they don't have
the Germans
juries.
are just like, we have the paperwork, so
there's no juries in Germany
or whatever. I know
I'm not impressed.
Yeah, he was given because I also thought he had the death penalty, but there's no death penalty in Germany either. So he must have gotten the max penalty, whatever. It was this Ukrainian dude. Anyway, it's a cool documentary called "The Nazi Next Door" or something like that. Anywho, Bochum needs a guy like that. They need that guy.
I mean, I think they've done exceptionally well. So, yeah, we'll see how this appeal goes. Maybe Kriegeristen will need to be flown in. All right, so that's the Bundesliga.
Is there anything big MLS you want to talk about?
Oh my God, so much is happening. So much is happening. Preseason. Preseason started today.
Right.
And cash for players is the new way of the world. This was funny.
You said cash for clunkers, though.
Well, I was joking. Somebody was saying on Twitter, said on Twitter that this was an unfortunately chosen name, and he had a picture that said cash for clunkers. And I thought that was funny. So now, get this. Now in MLS, there's a new mechanism coming.
Hey, we love our mechanism.
Where you can pay a transfer fee, you can pay money as a transfer fee to buy a player from a different team and bring him to your team. Now you will say, like many people on Twitter, that's how it works everywhere.
Right.
All the time. What is the big news? And you're like, yeah, surprisingly in MLS so far, it has not worked that way. Not within MLS teams. You could not have. Right. You could. The only way to acquire a player from another team was to use whatever you call them, Garber Bucks, the legendary Garber Bucks, or a trade. But the TAM fantasy money, that's not real. That doesn't exist. You can't go. You don't go to a meeting with a suitcase full of TAM. These are just numbers that get kind of accounted for back and forth. But now there's cash for players.
Let me defend MLS. Something I do want to talk about MLS is part of it, and this part of it too, is their transparency has finally been improving because a few months ago we were given a list of what every player's status was, and apparently that used to be kind of a premium. Now it's very open. Every roster slot is available. And now they just, a month ago, kind of under the radar, they released everybody's TAM and GAM budgets.
I saw that too. Yeah.
So you saw exactly how much TAM every club has. And that's a total first. It used to just be kind of, we didn't really know. Now it's like, we know. And
it's still kind of
TAM and their GAM. So
it's still sort of hard to really
the whole system probably needs to be blown up. I still believe that.
It's still hard to know what to make of that information, but that's definitely there's definitely efforts are being made.
So this new system means that you can just pay now cash for a player out of the pocket of the owner or something, or does it have to be from the?
I think
Does it have to be
I
from
think you
some
can
sort of
just.
transfer kitty.
I
or
mean, we've
something that
always
they have?
the teams are always allowed to pay transfer fees internationally.
And the
Obviously,
owner
if you're
does that.
bringing, and that just comes out of you pay for it.
Owner's
I mean, that's one way also to reinvest transfer fees that you collect. Because they don't necessarily translate into the fantasy bucks 1-to-1. So you have some extra money that you can then use for this. And Tom Bogert was speculating today that this would become relevant very quickly for somebody like Lucio Costa. Lucio Costa apparently has not shown up yet. The same as Sebastian Driussi. They both Argentinians. They're still hanging out, eating grass-fed beef. They have decided not to come to Austin and Cincinnati, respectively, trying to force a trade. I think Driussi wants to stay in Argentina, and I guess Acosta might go to a different MLS team for some cash. And he might be the first one. To.
We are the only league in the world where players have to do sit-ins just to get transfers. I mean, unless I'm wrong, like, is it common for a Bundesliga club to be like, "Well, 3 of our players aren't here yet"?
Well, no, that happens. That
move?
happens too. I don't think it's as common, but I think it's the it's the option. It's the. Well, I don't think that applies to Lucho Costa, but in general, what's MLS has these like unilateral options in their contracts often, where they just at the end of the season are just decide, oh, we'll bring you back and we'll bring you back. So that's I think this is it's a thing.
Yeah.
That's been happening more.
You know what else is a thing?
What is it?
Bruce Arena.
Bruce Arena.
El
Bruce.
San Jose is making moves.
Josef Martinez and
Josef Martinez is next.
And wait, who's the other one?
San Jose. There was
but
a
who's
couple
the
of his
big
boys. I'd have to Google it, but he's bringing every week. It's these 3 new players join. He's throw out the whole roster. He's doing a whole new roster the way Bruce does it, and it always works out. So he brought in a couple of his boys from New England, and then he's bringing Josef Martinez. He's buying damaged goods, and he's going to make them play as good as they've ever played. That's how Bruce does it.
As good as they've ever played. All right.
That's
You're a believer still. We will see. I don't know. Who
and
was
the New York Red Bulls, by the way, are having a surprisingly actively normal offseason. We haven't had that in years. We just signed a couple of vets. We're linked with a new guy every 2 or 3 days. Some guy from the Polish league, a guy from Chile who's supposed to replace an outgoing John Tolkien. And we brought in Alexander Hack, former Mainz player, David Riccio, one of the Euro boys. I'm just like, hey, it's a pretty active little offseason. We haven't had one of these in a while, and it's nice. I think they are fluffing a stronger roster for the next season. So good on them. Good on them.
Well, we so far only have we don't have anything. I mean, we have a new coach, Pascal Jansen, coming from Hungary.
But he spent 4 years as a head coach in the Eredivisie, right?
He was AZ Alkmaar. He was Arne Slot's assistant. That's, of course,
that's huge.
The greatest thing at this very moment. That is the greatest thing you can say about anyone. Former Arne Slot assistant will get you hired immediately. So, he struggled a little with the socials. There was they made him do a lot of stuff, walk around Manhattan with a scarf saying, welcoming the fans, saying our slogans, and it was a mostly pretty wooden performance. So, but I don't know.
He wants to go to work. But what I'm saying is that the last coaches you mentioned was like some rando assistant, wasn't there some guy you?
Yeah, it was the guy from Oxford. At some point, it was Jim Curtin. This is
a real top flight coach, and you got it. You got a guy from Eredivisie who led AZ Alkmaar. That's some real pedigree there. So
I'm excited. I think he looks like a real guy. His mother was a semi-famous soul singer in the 70s, and
really?
Not that is. He's the child of an English singer and a Dutch soccer player. Those are his parents. So he's Dutch, I think, by
Association.
by nationality, but he grew up mostly in England. Anyway, very excited.
So he's not
And
Hungarian?
we'll see.
They just
But
made us Hungarian.
we have no. He's not Hungarian.
He's Dutch. Okay.
That was just his most recent job. He was only there for
got it.
6 months. He was
Got
there for 6 months, and then we pried him away
Yeah.
from this Hungarian team. So, but other than that, we re-signed Max Morales, and we signed 2 homegrown youngens.
Yeah,
One of which
Max Morales twin boys. They're 18 now, I think. Right?
Maxi Morales is 38. He's going to be 38 at the end of February, and we're going to see how. I mean, he played a huge role under Nick Cushing last season, and he had great stats. To be fair, like among attacking midfielders in MLS, he was like in the 97th percentile and a lot of stats. So he did have a good year. It's not like he played poorly, but it just seems like.
Isn't there only one stat from last year that really was worth remembering?
What the last game?
The last
0.
game where you lost at home to the New Red Bulls playoff. Isn't that the only stat worth remembering all year?
Certainly the only thing that you would like to talk about, I see.
Listen, when it comes to stats, to me,
it still hurts. I mean, I'm not gonna lie. You just like it's still.
Well,
it's not.
I'm talking stats.
I could pretend to. Yeah, he was definitely a little banged up in the playoffs. He was. I mean, he's
38.
He's almost 38.
He had a hip replacement surgery the week before.
Hip replacement. I mean, it's wild that because he had a bad knee injury, like really, and he came back from that. So, I mean, we're on borrowed time with Maxi Morales. But I mean, I'm glad he's back. He's just a legend, the greatest player the club has ever had.
Will Jimmy Sands come back?
Even if Jimmy Sands comes back. Jovan Mijatovic would like to come back. The Serbian striker talent who famously said, "Get ready." When he arrived, he famously said, "Get ready, I scored too much goals." That did not happen. He only scored.
Jovan scored a goal.
He scored one or two, maybe. Was unimpressive, didn't look good, and also
that's what
apparently
they all say.
Didn't he was the third string striker in our depth chart. He was number 3 on Cushing's list of strikers by the end of the season, but he now thinks the Bundesliga is the answer for him. He can't get on the field at MLS, and now he's going to go back to Europe, according to him.
Yeah, I mean, Ghent really wants to get their hands on Dante Van Zier. And I speak for all fans, and I say, please take him off our hands. Gladly take him. Red Bulls, please do not make this difficult for Ghent to get their hands on one Dante Van Zier. On $5 million a year, Dante Van Zier has been quite the disappointment, I would say. And I would love for him to go and get a more effective player in his stead. So... off to Belgium.
I mean, we so far have only Christian McFarlane, our left back, is supposedly going to City finally. That's been rumored for a while. I don't know why they would do that. He's 18. He should just get minutes. What?
He's going to Man City?
Man City, supposedly, but he's not going to play. He's not going to play there. Yeah. So they could leave him here for another. He's English. He's. I mean, he's an academy. He's an academy kid. We signed him when he was 14. He was clearly showed some promise early, and he played. He got some minutes in and looked great for a lot of it. But then Cushing sat him again in favor of the mighty Kevin O'Toole. This is going to be the most interesting thing for me watching this new coach. If he agrees with Cushing's talent ID. There were just a lot of decisions where you were like, why does he play this guy and not this other guy? And I'm most interested to see that. If are these guys really bad, or was it just
maybe Cushing? Maybe it was a Cushing thing. Yeah, maybe
it was a Cushing thing. I don't know.
Maybe this new coach will set it right. We'll see. That's insane.
Last
Anywho,
unseen.
MLS still starting to start from a couple weeks, but it's crazy how fast it is. Bundesliga's back, and before you know it, MLS. I was just at MLS Cup. Before you know it,
Preseason started today. Yeah.
so today I'm probably going to try to go
I'm.
out to Palm Springs, where I went to 2 years ago. Had a good time. I try to do that again this year. We'll see.
Is that happening though? Like,
I mean,
I guess.
I was given a bunch of invites last week. Palm Springs is where a lot of people went to for Haven. A lot of my friends are in Palm Springs right now. So Palm Springs, I think, is ineffective. So I don't see why the fires would affect the Palm
But is
Springs.
this just like? Is it? Would this be like? We're putting on a soccer tournament next to the World Trade Center in 2001. I don't know. Is this like?
Well,
are you
they're an hour and a half apart. I mean, it's not right next to each
okay?
other.
All right.
This
I
would
think
be like
I saw
if
some speculation on Twitter where people were like, "Are they even gonna?" Because NYCFC is supposed to go like tomorrow or Wednesday to California, and that was a question: Are they even going to go?
I mean, good question. I don't know. As far as I
But
know,
we'll find out.
they've been trying to sell me tickets, so
Oh,
I still
all right.
think they're going on.
Well,
so.
NYCFC was supposed to announce their traveling roster today. That hasn't happened yet. But maybe there's still some question marks. Is Thales coming back? Jovan is clearly going. Yeah, we need a
Wait a
couple.
minute.
Jimmy Sands is gone.
Oh, is Talas only a loan to Corinthians?
Thales was on loan at Corinthians. Yeah, and
He fizzled there, right?
You
I
say
think
it
he had a
another.
couple of goals.
Well, he
but
had
then
a couple.
stopped.
I mean, he was still playing. I don't know, but he certainly on his Instagram, he looks like he's having the time of his life. So it would be kind of cruel to make.
I have a soft spot for Corinthians. That was my club back in my high school
Mhm.
Brazil days. Corinthians is one of Brazil's biggest clubs and supposed biggest clubs. And they were named after Corinthians, an English club that toured Brazil in the early 1900s or late 1800s or whatever. And
Mhm.
Corinthians still exists, by the way. But they're like an amateur pub team somewhere in
They no
10th
longer.
division in England. So it's cool that the club that they inspire is one of Latin America's biggest clubs, but they're just still like a little pub team or whatever. Or a semi-pro team at best. I don't know exactly where they're at. But anywho, I believe that does it for the Schnitzel Boys return. We will
All
be
right.
back next week. Checking
Very
in
good.
on 2 rounds of Bundesliga and maybe some additional MLS transfer news. We'll see.
I'm thinking of going to Miami for the season opener. I don't know.
Hey, that'll be fun. Yeah,
That would
I
be
went
fun.
to Miami last year for the Red Bull. It was a lot. It's a really fun. It's fun. There's really good food there. You know, it's the stadium's still fun for it, even though it's a temp stadium. It's a lot of fun. And then when you're there, you can go to the beach and stuff. And then if you're there, let me know. I can hook you up and have dinner with my family or something.
Oh, great. Yeah, I have not. I've never been to Miami.
Do it up. Yeah, because it's also, I don't know if it's too late, but down in that area, it's also the horse season. So all the horse shows are happening right around now. So I don't know if that'll all be over with. But if it's around the same time, you can watch a game, go check out a horse polo show. Yeah.
Amazing.
A lot to see. All right, everyone. Tschüss.
All right.
Bis
Tschüss.
nächste Woche.